out at one of those Coyote Ugly kind of bars in New York City when I was in college. A tiny dark place where sexy female bartenders spit fireballs over the crowd, but the fire hazard didn't matter because 90% of the patrons standing shoulder to shoulder, 5 deep from the bar, were firemen. I had just returned from 2.5 months traveling through 38 states by myself, so my friends and I decided to reunite at this glory hole in the meatpacking district so that maybe we could show my new British traveler friend Nigel a good time while he was in town. I was 22 and adorable and fearless, empowered by thousands of miles of America behind me, and enough arrogance to make up any difference. And that night I was wearing a black mini skirt and a sequin top and black leather go-go boots. April was wearing her signature cat eye makeup and wide-legged raver pants that she'd been wearing since we were 12. She was that friend who would say things like, "Shut up, you whore," when she really meant, "You're my best friend and I love you." We were inseparable for 10 years. And our friend Joe was the original manic pixie dream boy. He was an artist, and we knew him to leap out of his seat in a movie theater to do improvised kung fu moves when he was either excited or bored. And he'd say something like, "Oh, snap," before darting off to go and sketch something he'd seen in his mind that he thought was dope. Nigel was on the tail end of a year spent traveling around the globe. And I met him at the Green Tortoise Hostel in San Francisco. And I quickly learned that whether I was asking about the food in Indonesia or how it went down when he dropped his passport in the sewer in Rio, he would invariably raise his eyebrows, tap his fingertips, and say, "Brilliant." So we're making our way through this throbbing mass of firemen. And April is flipping her hair and sneering at every girl she sees. And Joe is bobbing his head to some house music beat that only he hears because we're clenching our eardrums against the assault of AC/DC. And even though Nigel's hands are pinned at his sides by the throng, his eyebrows tell me that he thinks this place is brilliant. Eventually, I make it to the end of the bar where Tracy is pouring drinks and tossing bottles and shaking her ass. And when she sees me, she drops the bottle and glass in her hands, crawls up on the bar, and gives me this long, deep kiss to welcome me home. "You slut," says April, followed by, "Oh, snap," from Joe. And of course, from the back, I hear, "Brilliant." And it's right around that time that I feel these strange, grungy fingertips pinch the skin at the edge of the back of my underwear. Kid Rock is squawking about wanting to be a cowboy. Ride all night 'cause I sleep all day. And I see this portly fireman standing to my left. I could smell a pig from a mile away. And we're just packed in too tight for me to move away. And I try to slap his hand, but it's like lodged up under the gabardine. So I look him in the eye and I say, "Get your hand off my ass or I'm gonna fuck you up." And he laughed. Now, April had gone back to flipping her hair and sneering, and Joe was still reeling from witnessing a girl kiss. And Nigel, way in the back, he was too taken in by the spectacle and was too far away to hear, see, or do anything. But Tracy had seen it and heard it all. So she takes the cash for the 4 shots and 4 beers that I had just ordered and wags a disapproving finger at the fireman and goes to make my change. And that's when the fireman launches his coordinated attack by swooping one of those gnarly fingers under the elastic of my underwear with one hand, and with the other, the one with the wedding ring on it, he knocks down all the 8 drinks that I'd just paid for. Tracy makes it back in time to see me punch this guy in the face so hard and so unexpectedly that he splits the crowd of New York's bravest like a bloody gash. Cowboy! And just like that, there's 2 bouncers climbing through the crowd, and I honestly, arrogantly, ignorantly believed they were coming to my aid. So imagine my surprise when one of them grabs me by the shoulders, the other grabs me by the ankles, and they bust the door of the bar open with my head. And I'm alone on the sidewalk in the meatpacking district, picking the gravel from my elbows and knees when April comes out. "Oh my God, you are!" Followed by Joe in full kung fu mode. "Oh snap, that was dope!" And then he disappears down a side street in an echo of beatboxing and manic pixie chaos. And eventually Nigel squeezes out with his eyebrows to the sky, his fingertips diddling like caterpillars trying to mate with themselves in a mirror. Bloody brilliant! And April starts twisting her hair into this utilitarian top bun and says, "What's next, bitches?" So I picked myself up.